Drodzy miłośnicy starożytności na pewno słyszeli o wielkiej, podobno pierwszej na świecie, cywilizacji Sumerów, kwitnącej w dorzeczu Tygrysu i Eufratu na Bliskim Wschodzie od połowy IV do końca III tysiąclecia przed naszą erą. Oprócz monumentalnych piramid zwanych ziguratami, niezwykłej wiedzy o kosmosie, matematyce, medycynie, najbardziej znane osiągnięcie Sumerów to pismo klinowe. Tysiące glinianych tabliczek pokrytych takim pismem znajdowanych jest do dzisiaj na terenie obecnego Iraku. Ale czy tylko tam?
Pewnego pięknego dnia poszedłem do Parku Radziwiłłowskiego, jak zwykle, żeby wykopać trochę robaków na przynętę, bo jak wiadomo, wszyscy, którzy mnie znają, wiedzą, że jestem zapalonym wędkarzem. W pewnym momencie łopatka zahaczyła o coś twardego. Pomyślałem, że to może jakiś kamień. Okazało się, że to nie był kamień. Dziwne tabliczki pokryte jakimiś dziwnymi znakami, może pismem. Nie wiem, nie znam się na historii, nigdy mnie to nie interesowało. Pomyślałem, że trzeba zasięgnąć opinii jakiegoś eksperta, bo sam tego nie rozszyfruję. Przypomniałem, że mój syn, który mieszka w Londynie, ma kolegę profesora archeologii. Zapakowałem te wydobyte obiekty do pudełka i wysłałem do Londynu. Po miesiącu otrzymałem z powrotem razem z płytką, na której nagrany był filmik z wypowiedzią tego profesora archeologii.
Mr. Skalimowski, I'm sorry it's taken me so long, but the task you gave me was not easy. The objects you've discovered were carefully and thoroughly examined in our institute by a group of specialists in various fields. Here are our initial findings. So the objects that you sent us are most definitely Sumerian tablets. They're covered in cuneiform writing, and we believe they date back to around 2500 BC. They appear to be correspondence between two trade partners. Bondarchuk, living in the town of Biała on the Kushnar River in modern-day Poland, and Nigangar, living in a little town of in southern Sumer, which is modern-day Iraq. It appears that extensive trade between the Polish territories and ancient Sumer first started several thousand years ago. At the back of one of the tablets, you can see here, Nigangar has drawn a simple map of the world of the time. So you can see the Mediterranean Sea here, and you can see the Black Sea. And then at the top of that, you can see the little town of Biała in Europe, and at the bottom the town of in Mesopotamia. He's marked the trade route, which was travelled by the merchants who carried various goods and also these tablets. On the first tablet, we have deciphered. Nigangar acknowledges the receipt of goods from Bondarchuk, which included 2 bags of amber, 3 sacks of hazelnuts, and 1 box of dried pikefish. The Sumerian merchant also asked his Polish partner to send him 15 sacks of buckwheat kasha, because as he explains here, it is in high demand and our gods love kasha. On the second tablet, Nigangar informs his trade partner from Biała about his plans. So he says, next month I will send you 1 barrel of tar made by myself, 3 buckets of dried dates without any additives, a bag of glass beads and a goatskin bag of excellent, and then there's some missing letters, but we think he's probably talking about wine. So the text ends with the words, thank you for the birthday wishes. On this tablet, Bondarchuk from Biała asked the Sumerian if he had received a shipment of honey. 2 jars of buckwheat honey, 3 jars of linden, and 3 jars of chamomile. He thanks him for the copper mace and a silver vase he has received, and he apologises for the delay, which he says was due to brief troubles with the authorities. Here it is written, they kept me in detention for 3 weeks, but they couldn't charge me with anything, and they let me go. And he explains that, and then he adds a strange question on the end. He says, do the police beat up football fans at your stadiums? Fourthly, The text on this tablet we can see. Unfortunately, it's been damaged to a great extent, but it does have more personal character. So Bondarchuk says, "My old Pokoricha, probably his wife, is getting lazy and mean." And there's a bit of broken text. "She is driving me crazy. I can't stand it any longer. Going to exchange her for a new model." And then that way I will, and it gets a bit damaged there. So a little bit further down we can see a little bit more, and it says, "My dear friend, maybe in your town you would know a nice young girl who would like to visit me. As an encouragement, give her a jar of buckwheat honey I sent you. Tell her that I'm still very," and then it kind of breaks off a little bit, "but we've got like a young stud, and that I will," and then we have no more. Here the text stops a little bit abruptly, and it's a pity because it was just getting interesting. On the back of the tablet, however, Bondarchuk has drawn a portrait of Pohorika. Here, look. Indeed, she was not very attractive. Please notice the big difference in writing styles of the two correspondents. Bondarchuk from Biała uses shabby, often inappropriate language, almost like a child. And on the other hand, his Sumerian partner uses sophisticated, sublime, literary Sumerian of the time. And now, let's try to answer the burning question. How on earth did those ancient tablets end up in the Radziwiłł Park in Biała? The mystery is explained by this tablet that we have here. So you can fairly easily read this short text that we have on it. It's in Latin, but stylized to look like cuneiform. And you can see here it says, "Collectio, Anna S. Radziwiłł, Biała, 1734. This indicates that these tablets were part of the famous library collection created and carefully kept by the Duchess Anna Sędziuszka Radziwiłł at the Biała Castle. And on the back of the tablet, harder to see, but you can see some fingerprints. According to our initial examination, they belong to the Duchess Anna. It is still a mystery how these tablets got in her hands, but the matter requires more detailed investigation. In summary, Mr. Skalimowski, so far we have deciphered only 4 of the tablets. Our studies are still in progress, but we can now confidently say that your archaeological discovery is a revelation on a grand scale. Nobody in the science world could have expected this. It appears that the history of your little town has to be rewritten, and many books should be removed from the libraries. Many doctorates and theses will become invalid. Needless to say, once we complete the entire study, I'm going to write a comprehensive article for the National Geographic so that the whole world can learn about this discovery in Biała. Lastly, I want to draw your attention to this tablet here. This definitely does not come from the Sumer. Our initial studies indicate that they belong to the Vinca culture, which developed in the 6th and 5th millennium BC in the area of modern-day Serbia. This culture predates the Sumer by more than 500 years. So we need to give these objects a closer examination, but you can read more about the Vinca culture following the link below. Now, coming back to Biała Podlaska. I hope that all the local history lovers will follow your example and start digging around in the Radziwiłł Park. This, of course, should be done under the supervision of your local archaeologist, Mr. Mieczysław Skalimowski. I've heard good things about him, and I've seen YouTube videos of his excavations in Lomja. I've contacted via Facebook your local conservationist, Mr. Jan Maraszkiewicz. He promised to get in touch with you. Once again, Mr. Skalimowski, I congratulate you on your great discovery, and I send you my best regards. I will be in touch shortly. Goodbye.
Messenger, je te sens dans Messenger, tu vois, c'est impressionnant. sinon il y a la boulangerie Roma qui a amené 200 pains, donc ça il y a ce qu'il faut. Ça va.